Alright guys, let's continue with fundamental rights. In the last video we completed the right to freedom. Now we will see right against exploitation, Articles 23 and 24. We have seen that fundamental rights are essential for an individual's all-round development. But this requires an individual to be free from practices like slavery and bonded labor. Article 23 and 24 are steps towards this direction. First, let's see Article 23. Prohibition of Traffic in Human Beings and Forced Labor. Article 23 prohibits three things: traffic in human beings, bega, and other similar forms of forced labor. Practicing any of these is now an offense punishable by law. This right is available to both citizens and non-citizens, and it is available not only against the state but also against private persons. Now, what does traffic in human beings include? It includes four things. First, selling and buying of men, women, and children like goods. See, human beings are not material objects that can be bought or sold in the market, so such acts are prohibited. Second, immoral traffic in women and children, including prostitution. This protects some vulnerable women and children who are sometimes kidnapped or tricked into doing some immoral acts. Third, the Devadasi System. Devadasi literally translates to servants of God. Historically, a Devadasi was a female artist who was dedicated to worship and serve a deity or a temple for the rest of her life. In addition to taking care of the temple and performing rituals, these women also learned and practiced classical Indian artistic traditions such as Bharatnatyam, Mohiniyattam, Kuchipudi, and Odissi. But eventually, such women were exploited under the pretext of religion. The Britishers tried to abolish this practice, but it still persisted. The Devadasi system was officially outlawed in 1988, but it is still practiced in some of the southern states. Fourth, slavery. Slavery is a practice where a person serves his master without proper remuneration and without any individual freedom. To punish these crimes of human trafficking, the Parliament has made the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956. The term begar means compulsory work without remuneration. It was a peculiar Indian system under which the local zamindars used to force their tenants to work on the fields without any payment. It was a form of slavery, and the field workers were exploited for many generations. The term forced labor means to force a person to work against his will. The word force includes not only physical or legal force, but also force arising from the compulsion of economic circumstances, that is, exploiting a poor person for their financial needs. To protect vulnerable people from such practices, some laws are passed. These include the Bonded Labor System Abolition Act 1976, the Minimum Wages Act 1948, the Contract Labor Act 1970, and the Equal Remuneration Act 1976. Now, there is an important exception to the right against exploitation. Article 23 permits the state to impose compulsory service for public services for which it is not bound to pay. For example, military service or social service. But imposition of such service should be done without discrimination on grounds only of religion, race, caste, or class. So in the prelims, if UPSC gives a statement, the state can impose compulsory service on a citizen without any remuneration, then this statement would be correct.